Hello, everybody, and welcome into another episode of Across America Good News Edition. My name is Chip Brewster. I'm a national host with Nexstar Media Group, and this week we are looking at the week that was leading up to September 12th, 2025. I do want to take one moment just to address. I know that there can be, and frankly, every week there is a lot of sad, tragic, sometimes scary news that we talk about, we cover as journalists and as a company. And it's important to acknowledge that. But at the same time, I believe there is space to focus on the positive because in your backyard, your neighborhood, there's good things happening. And that's really the intent of this show. Not to ignore what else is happening in the world, but honestly to bring into the light the things that don't often get talked about. So that's what we're going to do over the next 30 minutes. What are some of the videos that we are going to see? Some of the stories that our journalists at Nexstar have been able to put together. Let's take a quick look. We got a couple coming from San Diego. These two involving surfing of an adaptive nature and a dog nature. A mother-daughter sharing a career. A vet gets a well-deserved gift. Would you conquer your fear for a good cause? And then speaking of fears, how would you feel about having your photo taken every single day of your life? There's a positive reason to it, I promise. Before we get to those stories, though, we're going to begin with our space, speaking of San Diego, our station in San Diego, KSWB, and a teenage girl that wins an award and does the dedication to her mom.
For 17-year-old Vicky Chen,
you press a note and you feel it come back to you.
Music isn't just about reading notes on a page.
My piano teacher always said that I play too rough. I think it's because my emotions are so rough. Music is music because you're telling a story.
Chen has been playing piano and the violin since she was 5 years old and says music and life go hand in hand.
A lot about performing is not just about how you practice, it's also about how you take care of yourself, sleeping, eating right, exercising right. But that all contributes to who you are and therefore how you play your instrument and how you present yourself in front of a crowd.
For this category goes to Victoria Chen, piano.
The La Jolla Country Day senior recently won first prize in the Coronado Philharmonia Concerto competition, winning $500 for playing the Greek piano concerto piece. But instead of keeping that victory to herself, she's using the money to bring her classmates along to her big performance this weekend.
Because, classical music, it's a little bit harder to access for the younger kiddos. But to me, it means so much, so I just want to share that.
But Chen's passion for music comes from a place much deeper than competition.
Without her, I wouldn't have even found my love for music, so I owe it greatly to her.
Her first piano teacher was her mom, who passed away 3 years ago after a battle with cancer. Vicky says every note she plays now is in her mom's honor.
Everything I do now on, I think, is all partially due and dedicated to her. Because I wouldn't even be on this earth without her.
This weekend's Coronado Philharmonia concert is set for Saturday night. For Vicky Chen, it's more than just a performance. It's a tribute to her mom and a chance to share her love of music with people around her. Reporting in La Jolla, I'm Wiley Jawhary.
Just something about that mother-daughter relationship. Something I don't have, my wife certainly does, but this next story gets into that relationship even more and over a longer period of time. So we're going to head up now to Green Bay, Wisconsin, our station WFRV, where a daughter followed in her mother's footsteps. And I mean it almost literally. You'll see why.
I went to school here myself.
Nicole Fisher has spent more than 3 decades in the Brillion School District.
And I think especially with some of those littles sometimes because they grow so much and it's just really fun. And you're growing that whole child. It's not just about academics. There's so many pieces and it's just really rewarding to do.
Elise is just starting her career as a kindergarten teacher. But for her, this classroom is where she belongs.
Younger kids have such a zest for life. They are so excited. They just want to take everything in. They learn everything they can like a little sponge. And again, I just really love like being able to see the world through their eyes.
Elise grew up learning in these same classrooms. Now she has a mentor down the hall she also calls mom.
Some people think, how can you do that with your daughter? You know, isn't that weird? But it's really not. She's just part of that big family here now.
I think when you're around teachers all the time, you just pick up on all of these things, and then you don't even realize that you're doing some of them. And I joke a lot. I open my mouth sometimes and my mom comes out. I'm like, I didn't say that. That wasn't me. That's totally something she would say.
Nicole has had the unique experience of watching her daughter step into the same role she once had.
She actually has kids in her class who I taught their parents kindergarten, and now she's teaching their kids kindergarten, so it's kind of fun, and that's totally full circle.
A full circle moment for a family of educators, continuing the tradition of teaching in Brillion. In Brillion, ELLE DAVIS, Local 5 News.
So many cool elements to that particular story. Just obviously the mother-daughter as teachers, but that they're teaching, the mother taught kids who are now parents who her daughter's now teaching their kids, and in the same room. That, like, amazing. And this is the kind of stuff happening, again, in our neighborhoods across the country that we're able to bring to you here on this program. I have one more story about a parent-child relationship. And some people out there might watch this next one and be like, if my parents had done that to me, I would have flipped out someday. But you'll see. It's cool. Okay? Give it a chance.
First, meet his son,
I'm Noah.
Noah Weissman.
Last weekend, I had my bar mitzvah, and I had a big party.
In Atlantic City, the Weissmans live in Rochester, 13 years old.
So pretty much it means that in Judaism, I'm like a man. I'm responsible for all my actions and everything I do.
Like studying to read from the Torah. Then the big party, including this video montage. Noah's father, Jonathan Weissman.
Before Noah was born, I had the idea to take a picture of him every day and then compile that into a video montage to be played at his bar mitzvah.
Nearly 15,000 pictures, 5 per second in the montage, one every day of Noah's life, except certain Jewish holidays when religious Jews don't use electronics. The Jewish Sabbath, also called Shabbat or Shabbos, also subject to the electronics prohibition, didn't prevent any pictures because it runs from sunset Friday to sunset Saturday. So a photo earlier Friday, then Saturday night.
Especially when Shabbos ended really late, we were pushing 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock before we got around to taking the pictures.
And the standard was it had to be taken by what, midnight Eastern time?
Midnight in the time zone we were in.
And not just any picture.
He's a perfectionist, so he always wanted to make sure they were perfect.
There were certain days where I was unable to take the picture myself, and I had to use her as my proxy.
Make sure he's standing straight, he's looking at the camera, his ears are straight.
And sometimes I said, no good, you gotta try again.
Gotta have standards.
Noah says his parents meet every standard.
Fun, smart, hardworking, stuff like that.
But he made you a Mets fan.
What? Yeah.
That's kind of child abuse, isn't that?
Yes, that's a joke. In fact, Noah wants to be an athlete.
But I also want to be really smart, so I want to go to a good college so that after my sports career is over, I could do something like business, entrepreneurship, something like that.
And the picture a day montage?
I don't think for a bar mitzvah boy, this has ever been done. Not from birth.
Never before.
And the funny thing is, I'm not into pictures.
But it will be at least once again.
Noah's younger brother, Jacob, 2 years younger than Noah, is going to have his bar mitzvah in 2 years.
Until then, I'm Seth Kaplan.
I don't know. There's something about that. Maybe it's because I'm on this side of the camera. I actually had the exact same thought when I was first going to have kids, and I did not have the follow through, clearly, of that father. But really cool to see. I mean, day by day, your child grow. And so that's a montage that I'm sure they'll be looking at long down the road. I have another story for you now. This is still a relationship type story, but we're going to move away from the parent-child relationship. Instead, we'll talk about the married relationship. Do you think that you could make it 60 years together? If you did, how might you celebrate? Probably the biggest party ever, right? one couple chose to do it a little bit differently, and this one is coming from our station in Youngstown, Ohio, WKBN.
And we're having a blast.
Barbara and Stanley Schwartz are celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary.
I don't know, when we were young and 20 years old, whether we thought of the future like this. I don't think I thought that much about it. And all of a sudden, here we are. So it's been fun.
The couple has lived in Florida their whole marriage, but Barbara grew up in the area and graduated from Liberty schools.
We're visiting. However, I've come home in a lot of ways by doing this trip.
To celebrate this milestone, the couple wanted to help the schools, bringing 70 family members and close friends along to help.
We're celebrating our anniversary. And we wanted to do it in a place that was meaningful and appropriate, easy to get to from all over the country, because our family is from California to New York, everywhere around.
And we ordered the gloves and sent all the guests one left-handed glove, and told them when they showed up in Youngstown, they would get the right one.
The couple started planning more than a year ago, contacting the United Way to help facilitate their 60th anniversary day of service.
Which is a great milestone to achieve in and of itself, but to say I want to bring 70 of my family and friends and give back to a community we don't even live in anymore is pretty amazing.
For somebody to say for our 60th anniversary, we want to give back to the schools in some way, and then come out and do all the things that they're doing out here to improve the environment around our building and making this a place where kids really want to be.
The group working all around the district's campus, mulching near the flagpole in front of the high school, planting a commemorative tree, and installing an outdoor classroom by the elementary building.
The fact that they all came is an honor, that they would travel, get here, they've got their lives, they work, they do this or that, and they're here. It's an honor.
In Liberty Township, Nadine Grimley, WKBN 27 First News.
And you know what, Barbara and Stanley, I don't know what the things are. Someone out there might know this. This first anniversary, it's paper, and that fifth one, it's wood or something like that. There might be a new standard in here that the 60th one is a Boy Scout style service project. So Barbara and Stanley, thank you so much for celebrating your anniversary in such a memorable way for you, and of course an impactful way for that community. We have got more good news stories from across America coming up when we return. And welcome back to what is our third episode of Across America Good News Edition. Again, my name, Chip Rooster. We at Nexstar Media, for those that don't know that name, you probably know the local station, and maybe you're learning some along the way with this program. But that's what I get to do. I get to bounce around through all of these 100 plus newsrooms to see what kind of stories our reporters are turning out. And then just honestly, I don't even get to show all of them off every week, but pick a handful to bring to you here on this program. For this next one, we are headed down to Florida, Tampa, Florida to be precise, WFLA, where they have covered the largest gift that you can possibly give, that of a house to a veteran. But this is no ordinary house. This one is designed effectively for that person. Check it out.
It was a day of celebration and the start of a new chapter. 2 combat veterans who were injured overseas receiving brand new homes free of charge that are adapted to fit their needs. Rolling into a brand new home, with neighbors and volunteers waving the American flag proud. Saturday morning was a special day for Marine Sergeant Christopher Lawrence.
It's amazing, this house is so beautiful.
Lawrence lost his leg and severely injured his arm after stepping on an IED while serving in Iraq.
If I'm in a wheelchair, I'm just kind of taking up space, but here I can get around the house in a wheelchair. The cabinets, they've got, adaptations to pull down, like I can still function. Even on a bad day, I'm still able to be part of the family.
That's where Homes for Our Troops comes in. The national nonprofit gifting this hero and his family a brand new house in Wesley Chapel. One of nearly a dozen that the group has built here in Pasco County.
We don't see our mission as charity. We really see our mission as a moral obligation of our country.
The one-story building is ADA equipped, specifically to Sergeant Lawrence's needs. After a ribbon cutting and ceremonial flag raising, the Lawrence family was given the keys, a new home, and a new start.
I don't intend on moving ever.
Homes for Our Troops says the 2 homes given away today were 418 and 419 across 45 states. They say they have a packed summer and hope to hit 420 in the next few weeks. Reporting in Wesley Chapel, Ryan ARBOGAST, 8 on your side.
I mean, obviously, our veterans deserve to be honored, but somebody who is a wounded veteran that needs a different setup in their house, to see that given to them, love what that organization is doing. And of course, homes aren't the only places that can have adaptations, whether they're for someone who was injured through military service or just in life. Maybe they were born with a challenge that prevents them from doing a normal activity, or car accident, or a disease. There are many ways to adapt what we would call able-bodied life to someone that couldn't otherwise use it. And one of the things that can be done, surfing. What's more, there's an actual world championship competition for adaptive surfing, and the finals happened out. We're going back to San Diego to our station KSWB. It happened in Oceanside, and they have the story.
It was an action-packed day. The best professional adaptive surfers from around the world are in Oceanside, like Dario Melendez Davila from Costa Rica.
It's awesome. I love this contest. I love especially the community. It's just everyone is having fun. It's all about surfing. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a cool contest, cool spot, Oceanside.
Woo! He's one of more than 70 athletes from 16 countries who are competing in the U.S. Open Adaptive Surfing World Championship Finals. Oceanside is the last stop in the global tour. For 8 years now, the Stoke for Life Foundation, in partnership with the Association of Adaptive Surfing Professionals and Visit Oceanside, have put on the event. Adaptive sports has grown significantly over the years. It's become not just a life changer, but a lifesaver for so many.
Once they get in the water and they see, okay, I can be in the water, I can be in the ocean, I can have a great experience, that turns into a quality of life thing. Then they get on the land and they go, okay, well, now I can take this further. Then it turns into that competitive fire thing, and they say, you know what, now I want to compete.
Pure fun, pure life, as we say in Costa Rica, is pura vida.
These professional athletes are competing for cash money and sponsors. Of course, that is a big part of making an impact out here, is all of the sponsorships that come forward. In Oceanside, I'm Elizabeth Alvarez. Back to you.
Really cool event to see. A lot of passionate people out there. I know there might be some who are like, I would never do surfing, let alone try and do it in a manner that it was not originally intended, and you have to use an adaptation for it. But like, for people to get out there and really put themselves out there, just so cool. I love doing this show. This is such a great show just for me and my own like vibes, if you will. Speaking of taking a risk, there is an event. It happens all over the country, and it happens for all sorts of different organizations and fundraising goals. I am lucky that I have been a part of it multiple times as a former broadcast feature reporter, but it involves a little bit of a height. And so if you're someone that would do something pretty scary, frankly, for a good cause, then you'll want to find this event happening close to you. And if you're someone that would rather just sit there and watch someone else dangle over the side of a building, then I got you covered.
There's a number of different cancer organizations, but I love the ones that get people outside and inspired and doing exciting, adventurous things to make you feel alive and feel human, because the journey itself, is so dehumanizing.
It is 200 feet straight down from the Kimpton Claret Hotel's rooftop bar. And every step down the wall means more money for cancer research and patient care.
And Cancer League of Colorado is unique because every penny we raise goes to cancer research. We don't have any staff, we don't have any offices.
The Over the Edge event has been a staple in Denver for nearly 2 decades, and 100% of every dollar raised stays in Colorado. This year alone, the Cancer League distributed $1.5 million in research grants and services.
We've raised over about $3.5 million, I think, Hannah, and we've been doing it for 20 years.
To participate, each rappeller pledges to raise at least $1,000, and organizers say you don't need any prior experience to take part.
I always tell them that we have hunky firemen at the top and hunky firemen at the bottom, but more importantly, we have rope experts at the top who will train you.
Are we slow? Are we fast? Are we good? You will go as fast as you'd like.
And cancer survivors tell me homegrown fundraisers like this one are especially meaningful because they bring people together, raise awareness in a personal way, and remind survivors they're not alone.
The awareness is everything. And because life is precious, and we know how valuable life is here in the state of Colorado, because this is a magical place with magical opportunities.
Yay, one piece! I feel like that didn't even take me very long.
Way to go, Hannah. Like I said, I've done that, let's see, Milwaukee, Houston, Florida, and the Tampa area. And that first step, I've got some Army training, and I've done it multiple times. It's scary every time, but truly. But the rush, and once you actually start moving down and you got your gear on, you're feeling safe and secure as much as you can over just stories of open air. Very cool experience. Highly recommend if you ever get the opportunity to do it. I want to end this kind of block, as we call it in the biz, with a story about passion. A 14-year-old girl that's been selected for an advanced music course out in the New Jersey area. For this story, we head out to our New York City station, Pix 11, to hear about a teenager that you might just hear famously for her flute someday.
Here, under God's roof.
I kind of feel the push or pull of the music. I like to research the piece I play before I play it. That way, I can play it closer to what the composer intended when he wrote it.
Is what many in this parish call a God-given talent.
When I hear her music, it just transports me.
14-year-old Chideha Osondu is making the most of her talent. The Bloomfield High School sophomore is taking that talent to the halls of Juilliard.
That's a crazy feeling because I know a lot of other kids my age would like to have the opportunity.
She'll be spending her Saturdays at Juilliard's Music Advancement Program, a rigorous program for young musicians in the tri-state area.
For me to be able to participate in such a prestigious program along with other kids my age is like really impressive.
But her road there wasn't easy. Her family was not able to find a music teacher at her level they could afford. Her music director at St. Thomas the Apostle Church stepped in, offering her a scholarship to Newark School of the Arts to take lessons there. The church let her perform at masses, giving her crucial experience.
I definitely wouldn't have got into MAP. I wouldn't be able to play any instruments at all. So it's good to have a lot of perseverance and to rely on other people around you.
It was everything, all the above. It was everybody working together to make her find her talent and just excel at it.
At St. Thomas the Apostle, she's an altar server and serves in youth leadership roles.
I'm proud. I'm her spiritual father. I'm so proud.
And so is her actual father, Ejike.
I'm proud and blown away by her progress, and she as a kid is just, she lights up a room when she comes in there.
Amazingly, Chideha has only been playing the flute for 5 years, and while she's already accomplished so much, she knows she has a lot of music left to learn.
The experience of being with the other kids my age who also play at such a high level, definitely a good experience to have and apply to my future.
In Bloomfield, Jim VASIL, Pix 11 News.
Well done from one musician to another. I hope you have a very successful music career. It sure sounds like you got one in front of you. I have to take one more quick break, but on the other side, this is third episode, and so far we're 3 for 3. I've got a couple of positive animal stories for you, so we're going to be ending the program for the dog lovers, actually. So stick around. And we are back across America. Good News Edition. Chip Brewster, the viewer, thank you so much for being that, by the way, and watching this on whatever local TV station, whatever local Nexstar station app you have chosen to download and view this on. As has become very quickly a tradition for this show, we're going to end with a couple of stories related to the animal kingdom. And these two specifically, dog related. In fact, the first one's going to combine a couple of topics that I've already seen come across this news desk, so to speak. One, dogs, rescuing dogs, rehabilitating dogs, finding them homes, and a second, veterans, those that perhaps a saved pet could save in turn.
This joyful interaction was unthinkable a few short years ago.
Yeah, I was sticking needles in my arm. I was hoping it would kill me.
Jason Howe found peace with a service dog.
You're doing good.
He's now the executive director of Canines on the Front Line, an agency connecting veterans with service dogs.
You know, a lot of us veterans have been down in the grave, and we've rebounded because of these dogs. These dogs are rebounded because of us.
Hope Rescues helped make this connection. Rescuers say 2 of these dogs were part of a federal bust related to dog fighting and faced an uncertain future.
What an amazing story, coming from a fight bus cruelty case to now becoming a service dog for people that have served our country.
The dogs passed temperament tests to become service dogs.
It's just amazing.
They look at you as you're their battle buddy, and having a battle buddy in the military will save your life, just like having a battle buddy out here now saves our lives.
Just like a lot of people, the trauma of our past doesn't always determine our future.
Hope Rescues is known for rescuing abused and neglected dogs.
All they have is hope. Most of them are not going to get out. Most of them will be euthanized, and they'll leave this world not knowing a kind hand their whole life.
Benny is getting ready to head home. It's Jefferson City, Missouri. That's where he will be helping with night terrors and PTSD.
I mean, it was like a best case fairy tale Cinderella story, if you will.
Burley discovered so many dogs, many of them considered bully breeds, are in legal limbo. She built a facility where they can decompress and with enrichment find their true personality.
We're just given a second chance on life for both of us.
Reporting from Godfrey, Illinois.
Good boy.
Jeff Bernthal,
come here.
Fox 2 News.
I mean, beautiful story on that one. Veterans, dogs that are rescued. And we'll end this one with a little bit of video. This coming again from San Diego. So they got 3 in this week's show, but this is the 20th annual Surf Dog Surfathon that took place. Something really cool to see. So, hey, talk about adapting a surfboard. You could also hook up a dog with their own surfboard if they so had the need to cruise out on the ocean. Well, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. I appreciate everyone who wants to take that 30 minutes or so to look at the good news happening across America with me. And I hope to see you again in the future.